Breaking news! The Atlanta Falcons are making moves. Recently, there was news of another Falcons move. In addition to a rumor of a possible trade between the Falcons and the Packers, I'll give you all the details firsthand. But before we get into today's news, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the latest updates from our team. We have some major roster moves to discuss, so let's get right to it. The Atlanta Falcons made another move on Wednesday, signing former UFL linebacker Story Jackson to their 90-man roster. In a corresponding move, they released punter Ryan Sanborn. Now, some of you may be thinking, what does this mean for our defense? Well, let's break it down. Jackson, who is 26, spent last season with the Arlington Renegades of the UFL, where he showed solid potential. With the unfortunate loss of outside linebacker Bralin Trice to an ACL injury, the Falcons needed to bring in someone who could step up and fill that void. Jackson isn't just a linebacker, he's versatile and can play multiple positions on defense, as well as having the ability to contribute on special teams. This move adds some much-needed depth to our roster, especially with all the recent injuries we've been dealing with. Speaking of injuries, the Falcons had a rough week. In addition to Trice, we placed wide receiver Rondale Moore and defensive back Harrison Hand on injured reserve. This is a big blow to our roster, and while safety DeMarco Hellams avoided IR, he'll still be out for a while, according to head coach Raheem Morris. It's definitely been a challenging time, but the front office is making moves to keep us competitive. Looking ahead, our next preseason game is this Saturday against the Baltimore Ravens at M&T Bank Stadium. It will be a good test to see how these new additions fit into the team and how we can adjust to injuries. So, Falcons fans, what do you think of these roster changes? Do you think Story Jackson can step in and make an impact? And how do you feel about the decision to release Ryan Sanborn? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. We have a potentially game-changing storyline brewing that could impact our team as we approach the 2024 season. The Green Bay Packers and Atlanta Falcons, two teams with very different expectations this year, are rumored to be in talks for a surprising trade. The Packers, fresh off a season in which they were just 3 points away from the NFC Championship game, are looking to solidify their roster. Meanwhile, our Falcons, who selected standout quarterback Michael Penix Jr. with the 8th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, are still seen as a team in transition, even with the addition of Kirk Cousins under center. Now, here's where it gets interesting. According to some speculation from journalist Max Dybel, the Packers may be eyeing one of our own, veteran quarterback Taylor Heineke. Well, let's break it down. The Packers are entering the season with Jordan Love as their starting quarterback, but behind him, their QB lacks experience. Sean Clifford has thrown just 3 regular season passes in his career, and Michael Pratt is a 7th-round rookie. This is one of the least proven groups in the entire league. If Love struggles or, worse, gets injured, the Packers could find themselves in a tough spot without an experienced backup to step in. Enter Taylor Heineke. Heineke has 6 years of NFL experience and a track record that shows he can step up when needed. He has appeared in 38 games, with 29 starts, and has put together a respectable resume with 6,635 passing yards, 39 touchdowns, and 28 interceptions. His most notable season came in 2021 with the Washington Commanders, where he threw for more than 3,400 yards and 20 touchdowns, leading Washington to a 7-8 record in his 15 starts. Not exactly Pro Bowl numbers, but solid enough that he is considered one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league as he enters his 31st year. So why would the Falcons consider trading him? Well, it could be a smart move if the front office believes in the young quarterbacks behind Cousins, especially with Penix Jr. showing promise. Plus, if the Packers are willing to part with a late-round draft pick, it could be a deal worth considering to bolster other areas of our roster. But here's the big question, Falcons fans, what do you think? Should the Falcons pull the trigger on this trade and send Heineke to Green Bay? Or is it too risky to give up a proven backup when you never know what might happen during the season? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, let's dive back into the issue that's been on everyone's mind, injuries. Falcons fans, we've got some breaking news that's both frustrating and honestly a bit unbelievable. It's only the preseason, but it feels like the injury bug has already set up camp in our locker room, and it's not planning on leaving anytime soon. You've probably already heard about Rondale Moore, our explosive wide receiver who had us all buzzing with excitement for the upcoming season. Unfortunately, Moore suffered a season-ending injury during training camp, a blow that's been hard for everyone to take in. It was a tough pill to swallow, no doubt, but as if that wasn't enough, our rookie edge rusher Bralin Trice also went down with a torn ACL. To top it all off, safety DeMarco Hellams is out with an ankle injury that will sideline him for an undetermined amount of time. This string of injuries is not just bad luck, it feels almost like a curse. Each of these players was expected to contribute significantly to the team this season. Rondale Moore was supposed to be that dynamic weapon for our offense, giving quarterback Kirk Cousins another potent target and adding a new dimension to what Zach Robinson is building. Bralin Trice, even as a rookie, had the potential to make an immediate impact on defense. His ability to pressure the quarterback was something our defense desperately needed. And DeMarco Hellams? He was quickly emerging as a key player in our secondary, potentially the best safety on the roster not named Jesse Bates. Losing these guys before the season even starts is a massive setback. In response, the Falcons front office, led by GM Terry Fontenot, moved quickly to address the void left by Moore's injury. They signed former All-Pro Jakeem Grant, a player known for his speed and versatility. Grant was expected to step into the role that Moore was set to fill, providing depth in the receiving core and a spark on special teams. But here's the kicker. Grant was already seen limping during one of his first practices with the team. Yes, you heard that right. It seems like Moore's replacement may already need a replacement himself. It's almost like a bad joke that we've all heard one too many times. Now, before we hit the panic button, let's take a deep breath. Reports suggest that Grant's injury might not be too serious, fingers crossed, but still, you can't help but feel like we're walking under a rain cloud that just won't go away. The frustration is real because these aren't just minor injuries to backup players. These are key guys who were expected to play significant roles this season. And it's not just about the depth chart, it's about the chemistry and the momentum we've been trying to build throughout the offseason. But Falcons fans, here's the thing, injuries are, unfortunately, a part of the game. Every team deals with them, and it's often the teams that can navigate these setbacks that find success. However, doesn't it feel like we're getting more than our fair share? It's almost like the universe has a vendetta against Atlanta sports teams. But hey, maybe things will turn around, and we'll get through the rest of the preseason without any more setbacks. We have a talented roster, and if we can just stay healthy, the sky's the limit for this team in 2024. So, what do you think, Falcons fans? Are we just dealing with a rough patch, or is this something we should be seriously concerned about as we head into the regular season? And what about the other issues we've been discussing? Some fans have been vocal in the comments on our recent videos, calling for more attention to be given to our pass rush and the defensive backfield. Do you agree? What do you think is the most pressing need for the Falcons right now? Let's hear your thoughts. And remember, if you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any of our updates. We have a lot more coming that you won't want to miss. Stay tuned, and as always, go Falcons!